Hi, and welcome to Hang Out with Kendra and Michele from PreschoolersOfPeace.com. If you were trying to come this morning to hear this, we had a nice little chat, just the two of us, because I forgot to push the button or something went wrong. So my apologies. Thank you for joining us again. We are so glad to have you.
We are.
Yes.
And we've had so many things happen between 9:30 this morning and now. Michelle's been to 3 appointments. I went out to lunch with my son. Yeah, made jam.
I had to unexpectedly buy a new car seat because ours was broken that I didn't know about. So we made a little stop at Target with all 5 kids, which is always super exciting.
Oh, man.
So now I find that our hangout today is very appropriate.
Yeah.
Because it is
vacation.
I need a vacation. It is about rest, rejuvenation, and vacation for the homeschooling mom.
Yeah.
You know, we are around our kids all the time, and that is perfectly fine. It was our choice, but we had the school year, and we were doing school, and now it's summer, and we still have our kids around. And so how does a mom that has her kids around all the time find a little bit of time to herself to just get the rest that she needs? I am absolutely frazzled after the day I've had today. And I was thinking, I should take some of our own hints.
Yeah.
So we are glad that you could join us today. And, you know, the first thing I was thinking about when I came home after all those appointments was I am so glad we have paper towels. And Kendra and I discussed this morning about paper towels and paper plates because at our house, my house, when I need to take a break, I pull out the paper plates because sometimes I just don't want to face another sink full of dishes. Kendra, how about you?
Yeah, and that's practical. We talked about some practical things because the reality is it's not like it was when we were single or were married without children, and you could spend a whole day on a pool chair with a book. That's nobody's reality anymore.
No.
But what are some ways to find practical rest and rejuvenation so that you can come to the end of the week, the beginning of the week, August, September, and say, I don't feel like I've been dragged behind a bus. And paper plates, paper towels, hey, you know what? Whatever you can do to simplify this summer is what's going to give you a little bit of rest, too.
Absolutely. You know, another thing that I was thinking about as I ate my lunch by myself, because I had to go out while my kids are home with their dad, I was thinking I was so grateful for places like Costco because I can go and buy 3 or 4, even sometimes just 1, depending on kind of what's happening that week. But I bought, a few days ago, I bought just 1 tray of these special spinach wraps that they have at Costco, and every day I've been eating 1/2 of a wrap. And it is just enough special to make me think, oh, yeah, this is nice. It's a little treat for myself. And I didn't have to go out to the restaurant to get it. I wasn't spending a ton of money. But it's just that little thing that makes me think, yeah, I'm special.
Yeah.
And and people like me. So that spinach wrap was amazing this afternoon. Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah. So if it's something like that, having something like that around can make a difference. It can make you feel like you're having a rest, like maybe you are on a little vacation. If you have to buy some little paper umbrellas to stick in your water, do it, whatever it takes, right?
Absolutely. Because the reality is, like I said, you're not going to get all day long with a book, but you might get 45 minutes. And 45 minutes in a lawn chair while your kids are playing in the sprinklers with an icy drink and a good book could be the difference between thriving and just dying.
That's right. You know, on Instagram last week, I posted a picture of me and my feet in the water table that my kids have, because we don't have a pool in our house. So I filled it up with cold water, and I sat there in our chair outside with my feet in the pool while my boys splashed around me. And I was like, yeah, I'm at the pool. I'm relaxed. I feel good. Because it was like 105 degrees outside, and I was so hot. But just that little break, I wasn't doing anything. I was just sitting there, obviously taking a picture to put on Instagram. But, you know, just that kind of thing. And sometimes if you have a book with you, but whatever it takes, it's those little things that really do make a difference.
Totally agree with that. And give yourself permission because, you know, you don't have a commute to work and a commute home to unwind. You don't have the weekend off from your job. And that was one thing we talked about this morning too. I love my kids and I really genuinely like being around them, but they are so intrinsically tied to what my work is, that it doesn't feel like a break if I'm with them because it's part of the work. So if we can eliminate some of the work that comes with being moms and at home, then I think we'll feel like we've got some rest.
You know, that's a really good point, because I think sometimes we have this expectation of ourselves that is unrealistic. And we have an expectation of what our life should be like that's unrealistic. So if we allow ourselves the freedom to say, you know what, this week we're going to take it a little easier. We're going to have sandwiches every day for lunch, or maybe for dinner.
Cereal.
Yeah, or cereal, or we're going to use paper plates every day. But that way you can do what's going to make a difference for you, so that, like you said, when you get to the end of the summer, you're not just dragging. You know, I was thinking something and it just left my head.
Could you possibly be the mother of young children?
You know, I think I might be. I literally, like, the train left the station. I have no idea.
Awesome. Let me take a drink to that.
Absolutely. So, to Kendra, these drinks that you're having right now, we talked about this morning. One of our things that we'll have on the blog post after we're finished today, we'll lift it up. We both had some favorite drinks that we make for the summer. And you are drinking one called Nectarine Mint Tea, right?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. You talked about this morning, and I thought, I have nectarines on my tree. I have mint in my garden. So I ran inside, and I made it. It's just, mine's actually a little weak because I made it this morning yet. But it's just Lipton tea bags with fresh nectarines thrown in there and fresh mint. And it tastes
there you go. Yeah, and like I said, you have yours with no sugar. I prefer mine a little sweeter. So all you have to do to make it sweet is make a simple syrup, which is 2 parts sugar, 1 part water. Heat it a little bit on the stove, and then after it's cooled, you can add it to the pitcher of tea, and you have some amazing tea. Yum. Obviously, the longer you let it steep, the stronger the mint flavor will be. But super delicious. Pour it over some ice, and it is really, really nice.
Sounds good. That's a good one. I think all of my summer drinks involve a little coconut rum.
After the kids are in bed, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, and actually, my children, I think I've trained them to love Arnold Palmer's even more than soda, just because that's what I make a lot. So I make a lot of fresh lemonade, simple syrup, again, you know, fresh lemons, and you can just Google like best lemonade recipe, you know, and that'll come up on.
Oh, I have one. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Years ago, I will post it. But years ago, I found it. It's supposed to be a copycat hot dog on a stick recipe.
Oh, nice.
6 parts water, 1 part sugar, 1 part lemon juice. So whatever you've got, it is delicious. So use that as your base. I'll put it on the blog post too.
Yeah, and then I'll make that, and one of my daughters will make a picture of just, you know, plain black tea and mix the two together, and we drink that quite a lot. Good.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever it takes. Those little things make a difference to me because I'm not trying to run through the drive-thru. I do like Pepsi, but it's not good for me, so I don't drink it very often. So those kind of homemade drinks, again, can make a difference. It can make you feel like you're having a little mom break with your spinach wrap from Costco.
That's right. And any 3-year-old can fill a pitcher with water, or you can fill it for them, and they can drop those tea bags in. Mission accomplished.
Absolutely. And isn't that home ec or something? Or math? Or
yes. Count the tea bags. That's right. Measure the water.
Gross motor skills. We'll call it whatever you can.
Absolutely. Maria Montessori would be so proud of us.
Absolutely. That's right. So as you can see, our point is whatever you need to do to help you have a rest. We know that some of you are around your kids all the time and you don't have dad around. Maybe he's deployed or he travels a lot, or you're a single mom. Do what you need to do to get a break. Sometimes for me, that's putting the kids to bed a little bit early. It's giving them an extra long bath time so I can read a book while they're in the bathtub and I'm sitting next to the bathtub. So whatever you need to do. Now, Kendra and I are going to list on the blog post today some of our favorite books that we like to read. These are kind of the fluffy books that are kind of beach reads, something you can read on vacation. And one of the ones that I really liked is called The Forgiving Hour by Robin Lee Hatcher. It is a book about a woman whose husband, he had an affair, and they ended up divorcing. And several years later, her son comes home with this woman that he's been dating, and it happens to be the same woman that her husband had cheated on her with. And that was like heavy. I was like, oh no. So the story goes, it's about forgiving. It's about her understanding the grace that she received from God and how she's able to give that forgiveness to someone else. It is a really, really good read, and I highly recommend it. It really thought-provoking for sure.
Yeah. Well, my first pick is a book called What Alice Forgot. It's not a Christian fiction book, but it's about a woman who falls at the gym, smacks her head, and then forgets about the last 10, 15 years of her life, doesn't remember her husband or her children. And lots of things had transpired in that decade that she's forgotten. So her life kind of goes back 10 years prior to a lot of different things happening in her life, and it's about gaining her life back. It's funny, it's poignant, it's fluffy. It's also set in Australia, which is a little fun too.
So she eats a lot of Vegemite while she's trying to figure it out?
Possibly. Yeah, that one. That one is written by Leanne Moriarty, and we'll have these links up on the blog as we put this post up today. We'll also list them on our Facebook page.
That's right. One of my other ones that I won't say much about, it is definitely a young adult fiction. It's called, the train just left. Hold on. I am so sorry, guys. Let me get this up on my computer. It is called The Selection. That's right. The Selection by Kira Cass. Again, like I said, definitely young adult fiction. I heard it described as The Hunger Games meet The Bachelor. It is about a society where the prince, when he gets to the age of 19, he has to select a bride from among all the women. So it's kind of like Cinderella, and so all the women in the kingdom, so to speak. So that's what it is. It's a good read. It's humorous, which I enjoy, quite witty. Not a Christian book. But it's generally pretty clean, so I really enjoyed it. It's definitely not for your younger kids, but I would say late high school would be perfectly fine. Anyway, The Selection by Kira Cass. I enjoyed that one. Another one is Divergent, which a lot of you will have heard. It became a movie. Great first book in the trilogy. It definitely made me want to finish them all. So that was another one that I would recommend to anyone looking for something to read on an airplane or at the beach or something like that while you're on vacation.
Oh, these are very fun vacation books. And my next one is called Miss Bunkle's Book. It's by D.E. Stevenson. D.E. Stevenson was an author back in the 20s and 30s. These books are set primarily in the 1930s in England. A whole series of them that you'll see coming out now. You'll see them on Amazon and in bookstores because they're getting a little popular. But Miss Bunkle's Book is about a woman in a little English village who decides to write a book about all the people in her village. But when the book comes out, it's scandalous, the things she has said about them. Mostly, all truth, and so, of course, they didn't like hearing the truth about themselves. But nobody in this village even slightly suspects that it was Miss Bunkle that wrote the book because they don't think she's really sharp enough to have written it. So lots of fun transpires with that story.
That sounds like a good one. I'm going to have to look that one up.
It's super fun. And then the last one would be the first of a series that I absolutely love by Alan Brady. It's called The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie. These are murder mysteries, and the heroine is an 11-year-old girl who's sort of a chemistry whiz. She specializes in poisons, but she lives on her father's large, dilapidated English estate in the 1950s. And I'll tell you that the most recent one came out this year, and it took a wild, fabulous turn of events. So the series is really fun.
Sounds like a good one.
Yeah.
So as we wrap it up today, Kendra and I are both outside at our respective houses. We don't live in the same place. I can feel the breeze. I am starting to relax. My kids are having quiet time. So yay! So I hope as you're watching this, you've been encouraged that you can find a way to get some rest and a little bit of a vacation even while you're at home. As always, you can ask us questions on our Facebook page, facebook.com/preschoolersandpeace, or you can tweet us. I am at Michele on the go. And Kendra, what's your Twitter?
My Twitter handle is at Kendra E. Fletcher.
Okay, so those are ways that you can get us. We're both on Instagram as well. Anyway, we would love to hear from you. I hope you've had a good time. And Kendra, I hope you enjoyed the rest of your afternoon.
Hey, thanks. You too.
All right. Talk to you guys later. Thanks.